Hello, today my speech is on the Dropbox, and I chose to do the Dropbox because of Pastor Lee. And Pastor Lee, I feel, is a rare soul in this world, and what he does for children in South Korea is truly amazing, and I feel like it needs to be recognized. Um, this is a picture of Pastor Lee. A little background on Pastor Lee is he owns or has a small church in South Korea. He has a wife and a son, and at the time that this article was written, his son was already 26 years old. But something that um, is unique about Pastor Lee's um, son is that he's never walked, never talked. He cannot breathe on his own, never has. He has a breathing tube. He has to eat through a feeding tube as well. He spent the first 14 years of his life in the hospital before Pastor Lee and his wife were even able to bring him home. So Pastor Lee has said that his son is the reason why the baby box exists. There was also a quote in the Wall Street Journal article that I read from Pastor Lee that Pastor Lee says, "It is through him," he explains, that he's learned life's dignity, and it's because of him that the baby box exists, providing that all lives have purpose. Let's see here. That's a picture of Pastor Lee and his son, and that was taken in 2013 when his son was 26 years old. Many of you probably are wondering, what is this Dropbox? And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a box that is placed into a wall. It has two doors. One where it just says Dropbox, and the mother is able to open it and place the baby in. Once she places the baby inside, there is a sensor that will let Pastor Lee on the other side know that there is a baby inside. The alarm will go off, and the mother is able to shut the door, and the baby is safe in there. A member of Pastor Lee's church actually introduced him to the idea of the Dropbox, and there was a video showing him how this Dropbox needed to be built, and he actually wanted to have this idea when a mother had just left her baby on his doorstep in front of the church, and it was a really, really cold night. But thank goodness that one of the neighbors had seen the baby being dropped off, and so once the mother left, she called and let Pastor Lee know that there was a baby on his doorstep. After that, he felt like there needed to be something in place because that whole situation could have ended a lot differently. So that's when he came across the church member, and they introduced him to the Dropbox. And this right here is a picture of a Dropbox. You can see the baby inside, and then there's another picture with Pastor Lee opening it. The baby box was invented 700 years ago by nuns and a priest who wanted a way for desperate mothers to be able to leave their infants with them. So that's where that idea had started. There are some hard facts to listen to, but in 2013, how many infants do you think in South Korea were abandoned by their mothers. About 152 infants were left alone to die. A large number of these babies in South Korea who are abandoned do have severe disabilities. That's for many different reasons. A lot of these babies are born to really young mothers, and those moms aren't able to get the prenatal care that they need, along with when they go to have the baby, they are having them in unsafe, unsanitary places, which causes them to sometimes have birth defects or birth complications, and sometimes even cause the infants to die or the mothers to die when the babies are being born. Many of these women are around middle school, high school age, and if they are known to let out that they are pregnant, they are usually kicked out of the school system. In South Korea, they have an extremely conservative society. So families have been known to beat women who are pregnant and not married. These women become truly alienated from society in South Korea and are mistreated. So they become depressed and want to kill themselves and their babies. In South Korea, they don't have clinics or groups that teenagers in trouble or women in adult ages that are in trouble that they can go talk to because of their conservative society and their beliefs. Their abortion is not tolerated or accepted at all anywhere in South Korea, so that's just not an option. Pastor Lee's church has saved many abandoned babies because of this drop box. He has daily night and volunteers who come and help him feed the children, take the children to the doctors, because there are many children that he has taken into his care that have severe disabilities. And I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with children with special needs, but it does require a large amount of time and money to be able to care for these children properly. A lot of these children are on breathing tubes and feeding tubes and require many surgeries, many trips back and forth to the hospital, and then 24-hour care when they're home or even in the hospital, which is a huge job, and Pastor Lee takes on this because he feels that it's his calling, that's what God wants him to do. And I feel like there's not very many people who even want to bring in another child in their home, because having kids is so much work. But being able to open your heart, open your home, open your church to any child in need who helps you is someone who I believe has a heart like Jesus. So I think Pastor Lee is an amazing guy. Many people in South Korea would argue that a drop box is just an easy way out for an irresponsible mother who doesn't really want to hold to her end of the deal or to just an easy way out for her. And I feel like these people who believe this in South Korea, as well as people who feel like that here in the United States, because of our safe haven laws where you can drop a baby off at fire department, they haven't yet realized who the drop box is really made for. It's not just made for mothers. The drop box, people can't deny that in South Korea there is such a huge problem, and babies are being left in bathrooms and dark, cold alleys, and there have been babies found in the actual sewage pipes of South Korea and trash cans, and just along cold, dark streets where it seems to be secluded. And these infants are being just left there to die alone, and regardless if there's a drop box or not, this is happening. The drop box is not just for the mothers, it's made for the infants so that we can protect them, these innocent little human beings who otherwise would just die alone. So all lives matter, including little baby lives, and I feel like Pastor Lee gets it. He gets it, and he's doing something about it. Not only does he get it, he's making a huge movement for others to follow, that there, if you see a need, maybe you just need to step up. Pastor Lee is a huge inspiration to me and makes me want to be more like Jesus. Thank you so much for listening to me, and I will see you all soon. Thank you.